Welcome back, my Duelist friends. Casual Duelist here, and I've got a few things for you guys today. Before we get into the updated Numeron deck profile, giveaways are back. Everybody has tested negative in the household. Everything has been thoroughly sanitized. So we are back. So again, I got with Celestial over the last couple of days, and we started creating a list of giveaway winners. And we're also choosing from previous week's comments for all the weeks that we had suspended the giveaways. So we're going to start choosing like 3. We're going to choose like 3 a week, all the way through till probably the end of April, I think is what we agreed on. And we're going to get some cards out to you guys. Human Spider, your stuff is going to be sent out tomorrow. I do thank you for your just saintly patience. Thank you very much. But this week's winners, and I'm not sure which week we're on anymore. We do have Joe Patton. We do have Christopher Lebetsky. And quick, a secondary shout out to Mr. Lebetsky. You requested an Exodia Necros build, and it was super fun to play. And yeah, I figured we'd just throw you on the list this week, because why not? And we got Rook's Table here as well. All great comments. If you guys would like to receive those free cards, all you have to do before the end of this week, just send me an email at casualduelist78@gmail.com. And what we'll do is you'll give me an address so that I can go ahead and I can send you the cards. I just need to know where I'm sending you some stuff. Nothing more, nothing less. And I do hope that you guys enjoy it. So congratulations, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for commenting. It's all anybody's ever had to do is just leave a comment. Super easy. All right, let's get that out of here. Other thing, I found one of our custom tokens from back in the day. And my wife was teasing me saying I should show you guys. Because back in the day, we used to like alter cards for fun. And I'm not sure if I showed off the fake ultra rare Book of Moon or the Devil Treeborn Frog that I have. But we did do this once, and we called him JoJo the Penguin Soldier. And all we did was we just took a common Penguin Soldier. We just painted over it. I got him in a clear sleeve right now. But I used to really, really enjoy doing these for tokens. And I think this is actually going to be my my little dual center buddy from now on. I think we're just going to go, instead of using random cards from other games. So everybody say hi to JoJo. And without any further ado, let's get you guys that Numeron deck profile. So we're going to run the list first, and then we'll do reasonings after. So real quick, we're going to be running 3 Ash Blossom, 3 Effect Veiler, 3 Ghost Ogre, and 3 Numeron Walls. It's pretty straightforward. We just need to control every aspect and stop our opponents from setting up. We got a single Called by the Grave. Obviously, it was better at 3. We're going to be using it at 1. We do have triple Chalice in here. We do have triple Memories of Hope. We do have triple Numeron Calling and triple Numeron Network. We will, of course, be using 1-for-1, Terraforming, and a single copy of Upstart Goblin. And I know one of the first things everybody's going to ask me is going to be, why aren't you using your 2 Pots of Prosperity? Why aren't you using Pot of Duality? Why aren't you using Pot of Extravagance? You really don't want to burn through your main deck. Sorry, that's Pot of Desires. I don't know what I'm thinking. You don't want to burn through your extra deck too fast. And Duality is going to cause you to surrender your special summoning capability for the turn, which actually stalls you. So Memories of Hope, again, we're going to be able to spam out like 4 Xyz monsters in one move. And I'd like to draw 4, please. So the traps, a little more extensive lineup. We're going to have 3 copies Infinite Impermanence, 3 copies Solemn Judgment, 3 copies Solemn Strike. And guys, I told you I was going to make a deck with the Torrential Tribute. We just had this as card of the week. So 3 Torrential Tributes. Moving over to your extra deck. The 15 cards you're going to play if you want to copy me. Use this as a base, obviously. We're going to use 2 number 1 Numeron Gate Ekim, 2 number 2 Numeron Gate Devi, Two number 3 Numeron Gate Trini, and 2 number 4 Numeron Gate Katvari. You're also going to use a single number C1 Numeron Chaos Gate Sunya. And then we're going to go over to our links. And our links are actually going to allow us a little more of a control aspect this time around. Because last time I played, of course, we had Zexal. But Zexal will be banned of the 15th. So most of the people who are going to watch this video, it's going to be banned by the time you see it. So real quick, we're going to be rocking the single Apollosa, if it'll ever focus. Single Boral Sword. We do want IP Masquerena. We do want Infinitrack Fortress Megaclops. And of course, not only is he going to be a beat stick at 4,000, but like he's really going to help us reborn a lot of our Link monsters. Xyz monsters, which can help us Link climb if we need to. We're also going to use the single copy Nightmare Unicorn. And to finish and round this all out, we're going to have the Underworld Goddess of the Closed World. So, if you guys were just here for the list, I'd like to thank you for watching today. I do hope that this helps you guys out, gives you a little bit of an idea of what you might see if you see somebody playing this. Of course, if this helped you out, I would encourage you to please subscribe. What is more important to me, however, is please let your friends know about the channel. Word of mouth has grown this channel dramatically since the beginning of the year. And I'd like to see just how far we can take that. But you guys have a great day. The world is your oyster today. There are many videos here. Maybe go watch another one of mine. You don't have to. You can go watch somebody else's. I'm sure somebody's exploding a watermelon somewhere. That sounds amazing. You guys have a great day. Everybody else, let's talk reasoning. So, back into the main deck. We're going to use a lot of hand traps here. And again, it's because we need to shut down a lot of instances of our opponent trying to play Yu-Gi-Oh! So, like, the first thing is you want Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom is going to help you stop the tutoring from the deck, the milling from the deck. It's sending card from deck to discard. Or, of course, special summoning from the deck. So, this actually has a wide range. And since almost every archetype out there has at least one card that tutors, this is always going to be one of the generically best hand traps that Yu-Gi-Oh! Is ever going to have to offer. Second up, we are going to have Effect Veiler. And I did think about putting some Link 1s like El Mirage or Link Kuribo or even Relinquished Anima in here. But for the most part, people are going to play off to the sides of your duel center. So this way, that Relinquished Anima is never really an issue. That strategy is, I feel, more fitted towards any deck that can actually go in and use the Kaiju cards more efficiently and effectively, especially a dark type deck. Sorry about that. I had to take a sip. Now, Effect Veiler, we're going to use it for the main effect. During the opponent's main phase, quick effect, send this card from hand to graveyard. Target an effect monster that they control. Negate the effects of that face-up card your opponent controls until the end of this turn. Now, what makes Effect Veiler startlingly great is it is not a once-per-turn effect. If I have all 3 Effect Veilers and you go to activate 3 different monster effects, I can drop all 3 in a turn. Ash Blossom, I believe it's right here, once per turn. So, a little bit stronger of a card, so it needs a restriction. We're also going to run 3 copies of the Ghost Ogre. Now, it doesn't so much negate as it does destroy. However, if a card does require itself to remain face up to resolve, then it is a destroy/negate. But what you do with this one is when a monster on the field activates its effect or a spell trap that's like continuous, that's already face up, or field spells count, activates its effect, quick effect, send this from the hand or the field to the graveyard, destroy that card on the field, and then you can only use this effect once per turn, obviously, because again, this is a little bit stronger, but this will help us, between these 3 hand traps, break up a lot of combos and play efficiently. And one of my favorite things, I don't remember if Ghost Ogre ever came out in a starter deck. I know that Ash and Effect Veiler have, and I know that all 3 of these have come out in the Dual Devastator like a year or 2 ago. And I was lucky enough to be able to purchase 3 of them back then, so it was a fairly great investment for me as a player. So, and then we got the 3 Numeron walls, of course. little difference on the darkness of the ink, so something happened at the factory. The way this one works is if you control no cards except Numeron wall or walls, if quick effect, you can send this from either the hand or the field to the graveyard. Activate one Numeron network directly from the hand or deck. So this is sort of a fetch for the field spell. But it also has a hand trap effect here, so you can also use that effect only once per turn. When you take battle damage, you can summon this card from your hand, and if you do, end the battle phase after the damage step. So again, you can take one attack and shut down your opponent's turn similar to a battle fader. And then if that was, again, you went first, didn't really have much to do, you couldn't really set up, or you just didn't want to play this and then go straight into the strategy, you could use it like that. And again, this keeps the card from being dead once you have the network already on the field. This will give you some recovery for the future portion of your turn. So that's good. The spells. Called by the Grave. I think everybody knows this one by now. Target monster in the opponent's graveyard. Banish it, and if you do until the end of the next turn, its effects are negated as well as the activated effects and effects on the field with monsters of the same original name. So one of the ways that this was super easy to be used is anybody who's playing a deck that turbos out and needs multiple copies. So let's just say you're playing against a Gravekeeper player, you manage to get their Necro Valley off the field, and they're going to try to do Recruiter. You could banish the Recruiter when it hits the graveyard and negate Recruiter effects. You can negate hand traps this way. Excuse me. I played against a hero player once. They already had a Stratos in the discard pile. They went to summon Stratos. I was able to actually banish the discard Stratos and null out the field Stratos. But those were back in the good old days when this was at 3. Still a great card. Still a good one-of. And especially in a deck that needs every possible out. We are using the 3 copies Forbidden Chalice. I think I did this the last time as well. I think actually the main deck is intact. I think all I ended up doing was changing the extra deck, if I'm being honest with you guys. I'll go back and rewatch later, and I really feel like this is it. So this one, target a face-up monster on the field until the end phase. It gains 400, but its effects are negated. And against cards like your opponent's Appaloosa, again, the effect of Appaloosa is that it gains attack equal to the number of characters that made it. So it can't stop a spell, only monster effects. So we can effectively drop it from whatever it is to 400, and then it's unable to negate anything. And again, this works for a lot of other cards too. A lot of things that want to start loops or start a chain, we can take them out this way. Again, we are running 3 copies Memories of Hope. Draw cards equal to the number named Xyz monsters with different names that you control, activating only one of these in a turn. And again, this is a draw 4 in this deck, so I don't ever really see the issue. At max, we can actually draw 5 the way that this deck is laid out, because we could always play the CXZs plus the gates 1 through 4, and then that'll give us 5 different number names. So that would be fine. But yeah, big draw power. Again, we've got Numeron Calling. So if Network is already on the field zone and you control no monsters, special summon up to 4 Numeron Gate Xyz monsters with different names from the extra deck, banishing them during the end phase. Also, you can only normal or special summon once for the rest of this turn. So generally, when you do this, this is one of those, like, you're either going to try to go for the game swing, or you're going to have an out for your characters. Now, the outs here, again, if you do all 4, one of the coolest new outs is being able to use Underworld Goddess of the Closed World, because we can steal one of our opponent's monsters to count as our up to link 5. So again, we're not going to lose anything. We also have the Infinite Track Fortress Megaclops. And again, he's at 4K, so that's super strong. And another option is you could just let him get banished once, go into the Chaos Gate the next time, and try to overwhelm your opponent with the burn damage. So it's not as linear as you would think. It's still fairly linear as far as gameplay, but it's strong, it's fun, and this used to be how you would go to number S0 Utopia Zexal. So we do have the field spell network. During the main phase, you can send a Numeron normal spell card that meets its activation requirements from the deck to the graveyard. So basically, you have this without any monsters. You play Numeron Calling. So you do that. Send it from the deck to the discard. The remainder of this card's effect becomes that spell's effect when it would be activated. So Numeron Network from the deck plays Numeron Calling. And again, remember, the Numeron wall can play the network, can play the calling, and all you needed is the wall to do it. And again, you can use this effect of Numeron Network once per turn. Also, Numeron Xyz monsters you control can activate their effects without detaching materials. What's really fantastic about that is if you go back to Numeron Calling, okay, you are special summoning. You're not actually Xyz summoning any of those cards, so I don't think that you can bring them back that way. But, and this is the fun part, okay, they're not going to have materials because you're not putting any cards underneath them. That's going to make things a little tricky, and that's why the network is absolutely just like the workhorse of this deck. So once you have that, you can go for the cumulative game swing of just pushing through your opponent's monster cards. Additional cards to help you set up. 1 for 1, discard a monster card or send a monster card from your hand to the graveyard. Special summon a level 1 monster from the hand or deck. And again, we've got 9 other hand traps. There's 12 monsters in this. We generally don't play the monsters from our hand. 1 for 1, it's going to let us get in there, set up the wall right off the rip. If wall's the only one, remember, we contribute it, send it to the graveyard, and do what we need to do to set up for the big swing. Terraforming, just an alternate route to getting to our field spell. Because again, this would be like having a 4th Numeron network and a 4th Numeron wall. And that's always necessary. And Upstart Goblin. Again, I don't see the problem with giving my opponent that extra 1,000 life points when the monsters are going to be attacking so large. So it comes down to the traps. And the traps aren't exactly cheap. I think Impermanence, guys, you could check me on this. I want to say the Impermanence is still like $40-ish a piece. So, I mean, this deck is nowhere near being budget by any means, but it is fun. So with Impermanence, you can target a face-up monster on the face-up monster that the opponent controls on the field. Negate the effects until the end of the turn. Then, if this card was set before it was activated, for the remainder of the turn, any spell traps in the same column. So, okay, I set this here. I flip it from here. I negate whatever that monster. The trap card that's set across from me can't flip either. So it's sort of like a double stun if you do it that way. The last effect is a pretty good. If you control no cards, you can activate this from your hand. This means on your turn 0, you can, going second, be able to still interrupt your opponent even if you didn't pull your effect failure. It's essentially like playing 6 effect failures because I have the effect failures and I have the permanence, so we're good. Solemn Judgments, again, I've got no problem paying my life points to make sure my actions go through. Pay half your life points, negate a summons, or a spell trap activation. Simple. Solemn Strike, I'm going to pick up where Called by the Grave left off. When a monsters would be special summoned or a monster effect activated. Now, it doesn't say on the field, so graveyard effects, hand effects, banish effects, whatever. Pay the 1,500, negate, destroy. So again, if you're playing up against Dark World and you see like a whole bunch of cards, or maybe you're playing up against Mech Lords and there's an Obligado, and you don't want to destroy its effect because you want more of the cards out of their deck or whatever, which I don't understand why you would, you can choose to either do it to the Obligado's effect or you do it to the summoning of those 2 cards. So that's fine. And again, I use it mostly for the monster effects. And then, of course, the Torrential Tribute. Now, you can play Nibiru if you really want to. Again, one of the things I love about Torrential Tribute is the timing aspect. When a monsters is summoned to destroy all monsters. And again, we get benefits from the Numeron wall if we don't have monsters. And again, the Numeron calling, once we have the network, again, benefits us. That's when we swarm, is when we have no monsters. So let's hit up the extra deck real quick and sign out of here. Get you guys on your way. So again, we're running 2 of each of the original Numerons. What you're going to do with these guys, they all have the same effect. None of them can be destroyed by battle, and at the end of the damage step, if this card battles an opponent's monster, you can detach material from it. Double the attack of all Numeron monsters that you control until the end of the turn. So we have to be crushing through monsters. Monster, yes, all the same effect. So the first one to attack will be at 1,000. That's fine, it can't be destroyed, but we could pitch material. However, the network said you don't got to pitch material. So we just activate the effect for free because that's how we do. So this means that the next ones are 2,000s. So now that you got the 2,000s, the 2,000s will attack. And again, if there's another monster to crush through, we're going to do that. Maybe you'll actually break the monster you initially tried to attack. Again, we can pitch a monster because we battled a monster. Or, sorry, pitch a material because we battled a monster. And again, double them over. So, now that we did that, they're going to go from 1 to 2. That means the next attack is at 4,000. And again, there should usually be like one more monster. And at 4K, we're going to go ahead and we're going to blast whatever the monster is. And if not, whatever. It's 4 and 4. That's game right there. But if it isn't, then we go ahead, we get the attack. We go in there, we do the thing. And then again, we don't have to pitch material because there's, number 1, no material, and number 2, the gateway says, so then what you're going to do is then you've got your last one. Now again, if there's a monster, it doesn't matter, it's gone. I don't know of any monster that would survive this. One thing that comes to mind would be like the 5-headed dragon, the 5-headed god dragon fusion monster. But again, a thing that you've got banking for you. Guys, they're all lights. That's like his one critical weakness. So even though he's a 5k monster that can't be killed by battle, he can by light types or light attributes. And so like that would break him. That's already 8 cards of your extra deck. Now you're also going to have the Chaos Gate Sunya. So we could start the loop a little faster. Because we have to Superior Xyz 1 into this, which is fine, and then it's actually got material. We don't actually have to get rid of the material, but when you play this, it's not really an option. So when you play this, you kind of want to just go straight into the banishment. And what'll happen is you will banish all monsters on the field. It's like a removal torrential tribute. And then on the next turn afterward, this will come back. And then it'll look at all, I think it's the Xyz monsters that we have banished. Xyz this by using 1 Numeron Gate Ekam. You control his material, transfer the materials to this card. If this is Xyz summoned, banish all monsters on the field. Once per turn, during the standby phase after this card was banished, you can special summon this banished card. Then if Numeron Network is in the field zone still, inflict damage to the opponent equal to the combined attack of all banished Xyz monsters. So you're not really banishing the material underneath it. You will have 3 cards. It'll be worth 3,000 on the banish. But again, could get you out of a sticky situation. So that's why I left him in there. You don't have to play the Sunya. You could easily just throw in another link. And that would be fine. Again, we've got, for the links, we get the link for Appaloosa. Again, remember, we get to special summon one more time, and they will be different names. We will get the full power 3,200 point Appaloosa with the 4 negates, doing this way. Again, you can only control one of these at a time. The original attack becomes 800 times number of materials. Once per chain, when your opponent activates a monster effect, lose exactly 800 attack to negate the activation. And again, the calling literally sets us up for this. Again, Boral Sword, another link for 3+ effect monsters. They were all effect monsters. We can easily do this. Cannot be destroyed by battle. Good. Once per turn as a quick effect, target 1 attack position monster, change it to defense mode. That's either turn because of quick effect. Also, this card can make a second attack during each battle phase during the turn. Your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to this card effect's activation, which means it's like a spell speed 4 monster effect. Your opponent can, see how I just read that. Once per turn, when this card declares an attack on a face-up monster, you can activate the following effect. Until the end of this turn, this card gains attack equal to half that monster's attack, and then it loses that attack. So if you guys remember, like, really old school Yu-Gi-Oh!, the spell card is Riroku, and it is exactly this effect. It's also the same way Dark Mist works. If you remember a lot of the Xyz monsters, I want to say that was like number 91, 92, somewhere in that. So we're going to steal that attack power, and I do want you to know that this one is and until the end of the turn. This one isn't going to be a like a permanent boost. I think Dark Mist is the one that actually retains that strength permanently. We do have IP Masquerade. This is just in case you got to mess around on your opponent's turn. And if you're going to do this, it's almost more relevant for you to go into the Gate Sunya after that, the next turn. Because you are going to lose all of your materials. It's just how the thing works. However, if you were just link building later on, if there's a protracted game where you're using the next card, that's really where this one comes in handy the most often. But I still gave it a slot in the deck. You can obviously trade this one out if you want to or need to. I do know that it was not easy to pull out of the Mega Tin. And I traded my original one like fairly quickly when I got it. So then again, we're going to go to the Infinitrack Fortress Mega Clops. Again, 3 Xyz monsters unaffected by other monster effects except Xyz monsters effects. Cannot be destroyed by battle except by Xyz monsters. You can target an Xyz monster in the graveyard or one card your opponent controls. And this can be a face-down spell trap. This could be a field spell. This could be an equipment card. This could be a monster. It doesn't have to be face-up or anything. You can special summon your Xyz monster, and then if you do, you're going to attach your opponent's card to it as material. And then for the rest of the turn, any damage your opponent takes is half, which is fine. I'm glad they didn't make that a quick effect. It's too good. It's just too good. Nightmare Unicorn. Again, 2+ monsters, different names. We've got you. If this card is link summoned, you can discard 1 card. Targeted card on the field, return it to the deck. Then if this card was co-linked, when this effect was activated, you can then draw 1 card. You can only use this effect once per turn while any co-linked nightmare monsters are on the field. For your normal draw, in your draw phase, draw 1 card for each different name among those instead of just drawing 1, which is good. We're just going to use them to seal cards. And last but not least, and again, as long as your opponent has 1 monster somehow and you have your 4 gates, you can create Underworld Goddess of the Closed World. And again, this is a great out. This is a way to play something that's kaiju-esque without playing a kaiju. And again, we can do this after getting a draw 4 for Memories of Hope. So there is plenty of advantage in this move, but it's just not going to happen as often. Again, 4+ effect monsters. You can also use 1 monster your opponent controls as material to link summon this. If this is link summoned, you can negate the effects of all face-up monsters your opponent currently controls. That's not till the end of the turn. The link summoned card is, this link summoned card is unaffected by your opponent's activated effects unless they target this card. So any widespread non-targeting effect gets nulled. Add in once per turn when your opponent activates a card or effect that special summons a monsters from the graveyard. And this is either turn because it's quick effect. We can negate that. So I do hope that you guys enjoyed this. I'm super excited that we can start updating some of the decks for the new ban list. I'm really excited. Again, guys, let's just shout out those winners one more time. That's Rook's Table, Christopher Lebetsky, and Joe Patton. Please get back to me. You guys got till Saturday. Hit me up at thecasualduelist78@gmail.com. I will have notified you guys as well within the comments section, probably around the comment that made us pick you. So, on behalf of me and JoJo, you guys have a great day, all right? See you later.